So relax and enjoy. I'd like your support. Fresh video every day. Looking forward to hearing your opinion. Let's go.
Teachers of Reddit, what's the saddest thing you've heard a student say? I have two from the same open university in an economically depressed area. One, with tears, can I please turn in my paper next week instead of next class because my brother just got convicted and they are asking for the death penalty. Poor kid. That's a hell of a lot to handle at 18. To this was an essay on the topic of why are you here? The student, an older woman in a freshman comp class, wrote that she'd had her kids at a young age, and now that they were grown, she wanted to show them that she could still make something of herself. And even though her husband told her that he would leave her if she went to college, she came anyway. Thank God it was a diagnostic essay, because how the hell would you grade that? I just wanted to cheer and hug her. And even though her husband told her that he would leave her if she went to college, she came anyway. Good lord, I'm so glad she ignored him. Hopefully things got better for her. Oh god, how did you go about handling the first one? I wouldn't even know what to say. The second story brought literal tears to my eyes. It makes me so happy when people are able to achieve their dreams and be the role model that they want to be for their kids. And even though her husband told her that he would leave her if she went to college, she came anyway. Good. Any partner who is against you trying to improve yourself isn't worth having around. Not me, but wife. A couple years ago a grade 3 kid whose birthday was coming up was saying how he didn't deserve a birthday, that he was a speck of dirt, that he was bad. It took a while, but my wife was able to figure out that when he was in grade 1 and at his birthday celebrations, his dad stabbed his mom. He had internalized this into somehow being his fault because it happened on his birthday. It was his fault that his dad was in jail and that his mom was so severely injured that she could no longer work. It was his fault that they had to move into a much smaller place. Really tough to hear. Kids should not have to deal with this shit. That's the thing with abuse. The child doesn't stop loving their parents. They stop loving themselves. That's the thing with abuse. The child doesn't stop loving their parents. They stop loving themselves. For context, I teach English as a second language in HK for secondary students at a pretty weak school. At this point I'd only been teaching for maybe 5 weeks. I was teaching the Form 1s, 12 years old, speaking lessons, and one boy had a really good attitude to learning English, and so I thought he would make a great addition to the English ambassador team to help me out around school. When I approached him after class and asked if he wanted to join, the conversation went like this. Me, hey, name, would you like to be an English ambassador? Student, but my English not very good. Sick. Me, it seems pretty great to me, and your attitude in class is excellent, and that's what's important. Student, but there are much sick students better than me. Me, I think you're more than good enough. At which point the boy starts crying, and obviously I'm quite shocked, and I'm just like, what's up? You okay? To which he just says whilst sniffling from tears, no one's ever said I'm good enough. They all told me my English was rubbish. That was heartbreaking for me to hear. He explained afterwards not only had his friends told him he was rubbish, but his teachers too. Please say he joined. Heard just last week from behavioral emotional support student, IA, me, wow, that's a pretty good score, great job. Student, yeah, but I got % wrong. Mom's not gonna be happy about that. IA, but this is honestly a good score for you. It's over half. Student, I know. But whenever I tell her I got like 20 out of 30, my mom always says, but you still got 10 wrong. And I'm like screaming in my head, why can't you be happy for me for finally getting a good grade? IA, heartbreaking. Well, if she won't say it, I will. This is an awesome score for you. I mean, this is a brand new concept the teacher just introduced today, and you rocked out this score after only hearing it once. You did rockin' awesome. The little smile they gave at that. Just killed me. This kind of stuff really fucks people up. My girlfriend had some really shitty parents a bit like this. She will get 95% in a test at university and she will beat herself up about getting the 5% wrong. I feel like I can hear her parents' voices when she does it. It's hard to convince people otherwise when it's been so ingrained from a young age. This happened to me, and I know it killed my teacher because he was one of my former coaches and he came to my house to apologize for it. My dad died my senior year of high school and I missed a few weeks due to the dad. Doing anything was a task, let alone school, but apparently he didn't get the notification. When I came back to class he said, "Hey Krampus, where have you been? Who died?" Kind of half-heartedly, and apparently I just had this sad emotionless look on my face and said my dad and left the class. He chased me down the hall and talked to me for a while, apologized over and over again, and I accepted because I knew he meant no harm at all by the ill will joke. He was nearly in tears because he coached me for a couple of years and knew my family too. He came to my house that weekend and offered to take me out and try to have some fun with his family, which his brother was my age too. I miss that teacher. He was and still is a great man with an ill-advised dark joke. Yikes, he really chose the wrong word at the wrong time. He seems like a good guy with his heart in the right place, but damn, that must have been a wake-up call for him. Hope you are doing better now, my friend. I've been an ESL teacher online for Japanese people of all ages for around 6 to 7 years or so. I had a favorite student. Sweet, nice older gentleman. Loves to talk about his favorite anime shows with me to practice his English, and likes to ask about what I drew during the week. I'm an illustrator. One day, he contacted me out of class hours, which was against the company's rules, and left me a message with the context of, "Hello. Dear teacher, I always look forward to our classes and I have been very happy whenever we talk. I know you've become more popular and other students have requested for your classes, so we cannot talk as often as we used to. I know I'm only one of the many people you teach English to, but you have been so kind to me during our classes and I feel like we have become friends. I'm afraid to say that I will no longer be taking your classes anymore as I'm contemplating suicide. I've been so depressed lately, and I no longer know what to do." Against company protocol, I contacted him as soon as I saw the message and begged him to tell me his mailing address and told him to wait until my letter comes. I wrote him a very long letter of why he shouldn't do it and also sent a lot of my art prints and stickers to hopefully cheer him up. He responded after some weeks and said that it truly helped him clear his mind. We are still friends to this day, and he sends me pictures of his pet rabbits from time to time. Edit. Thank you for the nice messages. I'm a bit shy to respond to some of them because English isn't my first language and I do not know as much slang as I wish I did. But his favorite anime, and now mine as well, is Natsume Ujinshou, Natsume's Book of Friends. It's very heartwarming and wholesome. Edit 2. Thank you so much to the nice people who gave me a gold. This wasn't necessary but so kind. I'm in tears. I didn't expect so many people to read it, but I'm glad it has made a nice little impact in your hearts. Gentleman Sandid sent me back something for the letter and art prints. It was a life-sized Nyanko Sensei plushie that helps me sleep better at night. He also has a hamster named Nyanko Sensei, and he eats a lot. Edit 3. 3 silvers. Thank you so much. Really, and for all the nice comments. I'm so sorry for not replying to all of them, but they're also uplifting. I hope you take the time today to check on a friend. You saw the opportunity to bring someone back from the edge and took it. Truly amazing. I almost cried at this one. He sends me pictures of his rabbits. Oh my. Natsume Ujinshou fits your story so well. I've watched it so long ago, but I remember the main point as characters trying not to be lonely like the grandma was. I'm so glad you helped this sweet gentleman. Your comment brought tears to my eyes. Oh man, it was a decently sad story until you noted his favorite anime. Now I'm sniffling back tears at work. It's such a heartwarming anime, and I'm glad he likes it. The first time a student ever told me they were being abused by their mom. She asked to talk to me after class for advice, and I didn't think anything of it. She told me she had a track meet that day and wanted to know what she should do about concealing the bruises on her legs because she had to wear shorts. And I said, well, if you got them from practice then people will understand, and that's when she told me her mom got drunk and beat her and her twin sister. I know she was trying to find a way to tell anyone she was being abused, and she picked me. The conversation afterward was very hard because she didn't want me to tell anyone, and I'm legally mandated to do so. And B, I felt so horrible, and someone needed to help these girls. She begged me not to tell anyone, got on her hands and knees, and then screamed at me in anger when I told her how sorry I was and that I had to. I cried for like 3 hours after that. Edit, spelling afterwards. Please tell me this has a happy ending. It does not. I had to report to CPS, which was also an awful experience, and I really don't believe anything happened after that. The girls kept coming to school, but by that point they were already almost 18. Dunno if this counts as I'm the one that said it, but I had a pretty tough time at school. I had almost no friends and buried myself in my studies. My tutor was this tiny angry Welsh man called Mr. Evans, who I didn't think even noticed I existed, as I just kept my head down and had no interest in either of his subjects. Flash forward 5 years, and I'm working a part-time retail job whilst paying to learn accountancy at a local college. One random Sunday, who walks in but Mr. Evans. He notices me, looks surprised, and comes over to talk. We shoot the shit for 5 minutes or so as he basically asks me how I'm doing, what I've done since 6th form, etc. Before he goes, I tell him I'm surprised he remembers me after all this time, considering all the kids that must have come and gone since then. He looks me in the eye and says, "You always remember the ones you worry about. You once spent 10 minutes and 1 mile lessons arguing with me about what the point of anything was in the politest way possible. It's great to see how well you're doing now. I'm glad things got better for you, man." I asked a student what she was good at. She thought for a moment with a sad face and said, "Nothing. God damn it. Then we're not doing a good enough job letting her discover her talent." That's how I feel. Like, I'm good at go-karting. It's just stupidly expensive to get into. My mom is a kindergarten teacher, and this one always stuck with me. There was a girl in her class that suspected to be living in a motel room with her parents. Always came in with dirty clothes, obviously tired, etc. Unfortunately, because of all of the red tape that teachers have to go through, all they could really do was keep an eye on her until they had something they could report to CPS. One day, my mom's talking to her one-on-one, as she often did, to try to get her to open up. The girl has obviously been instructed on what to say/not say by her parents as to not alert anyone to what was going on. But my mom asked her if she got enough sleep at home, since she always looked tired. She responded, "Oh yes, it's all I really do at home." My mom prods her, asking why she needs to sleep so much, thinking maybe she had some kind of medical disorder. The girl responded, "When I get real hungry, my tummy hurts. When I go to sleep, it doesn't hurt anymore." God, I can't even tell that story without losing it. Luckily this was enough to get CPS involved finally, and she was moved into foster care. My mom said it was amazing to see her become a person finally. I had a kid with a rare brain disorder where, according to his doctor, one half of his brain was 2 years behind and one was 2 years ahead of schedule, or something like that. Couldn't find any info about it online. This resulted in unusually strong academic ability, but very poor emotional regulation. One day on the playground, the little guy was doing some homework. I looked at him and said something to the effect of, "Go be a kid." He said, "Well, I don't have time to be a kid." A little background: his mother makes him spend a lot of time at home doing brain trains, little cognitive exercises to support the hemisphere of his brain that isn't developed. These are time consuming and challenging. So, what he said hit me hard. Don't even know why. Kid is mature, but the genetic lottery stripped him of his youth. Edit. 2nd grade. Thank you you/Bootisna for 26 nice story. It made you sad because you assumed he was sad. It is normal because we have empathy. We feel as if our feelings can be applied to others. This kid, like you said, was born with a different biology. He may not have found happiness in the same things the other kids have. I wouldn't be too sad. I have autism and feel similarly that a part of me is way ahead while the other part is way behind. My mental and social developments have especially been slow. I would like to mention that I had absolutely zero problems with this when I was young. What fucked me up, eventually, was other people telling me I needed to be a regular kid. Teenager. That's when I started to doubt my worth and way of being, and still struggle with it to this day, because I always feel like I need to be how others want me to be. I keep comparing myself to others because I kept being told I had to be like others. I wish people had just let me be. It's not hard. I'm just really tired. Said to me by a little girl in tears as she refuses to do the work I gave her. I work at an international preschool in Japan and it's insane what some of these kids do before they're even in elementary school. This girl went to our school 9-2:30 every day and then had math school 2 times a week. Singing class. Puzzle class. Yes, that's a real thing here. Music lessons. Piano I think. And gymnastics. She was in preschool, mind you. Some of my younger Japanese students in middle school also attend cram school before regular classes start, so they wake up 4 AM in the morning, get on the train, attend cram school for an hour and a half, and take a short nap before walking to school. These children are exhausted. Some of them accidentally fall asleep during classes with me, and I just let them sleep and input notes for our class that hopefully my company doesn't find out, like he did very well today. Wonderful student to make sure the other tutors will still conduct their class requests. Not me, but a friend of mine is an elementary school teacher and she came to school extremely hungover one time. It was only once, and I'm sure there were reasons. She's a good, motivated and responsible teacher. One of the children smiled and hugged her, saying, "Mrs. King, you smell like my dad." I was an astronomy teacher in my country, one of South America, and the kid was in 4th grade. We were doing a model of the Earth in Play-Doh and at the end we needed to cut it to see the layers. I was using a cutter and I was the only one that could do it because of security reasons. I left the cutter on the table and I went to help a student finish the last layer. When I came back the cutter was gone. That is bad, really bad. So I started to ask to the kids if someone took it. I told them everything will be okay. I wouldn't make a big problem about it, but I needed the cutter back. One girl found it next to a boy. She told me, "I saw it falling from his pants." I took the kid outside and he started to cry. I didn't know what's going on, so the conversation was this. Me, tell me the truth. You're not in trouble. I just want to know why you did it. B, I just needed the cutter to defend myself and my family, but don't tell anyone. I don't want to be in trouble. Please, don't say anything. Me, why? Are you in danger? Something is bad at your home? D, my stepfather hits me every time I have a bad note from the school and hits my mom all the time. I need to defend them. Me, it's okay. Everything will be okay. I just hugged him. I tried to not cry and ask for help in the school through teachers and psychologists. I still think about him, and that was 2 years ago. So many stories in that way, so many kids, and sometimes you feel hopeless. While working in a youth shelter as a counselor, had one of my teens tell me that she was one of 5 to 6 kids her mom had, but all of the other kids lived with mom. My mom just can't afford all of us right now. So basically this girl lost the lottery and became the one in shelter/foster system. But she'll come back for me when she's back on track. Now this was a 14 to 15-year-old, but had some cognitive delays and was more like a 8-year-old mentally, socially. She was a sweet kid. It was so sad on so many levels. I used to teach in an alternative high school. A lot of kids from rough areas, many on probation, etc. One day, I had students writing a journal prompt about where they thought they'd be in 5 years. One of them told me, in all seriousness, that he assumed he'd be dead in 5 years. He was 15, and he had recently been inside his house when his uncle and brother were shot and killed on the front porch. He honestly couldn't see any other future for himself outside of their footsteps. I left that school shortly after, but I think about that kid all the time.